Hi, my name is Perris James, and I am a media captain here at Studio T Arts and Entertainment. I actually got involved in Studio T through my mom. She went to one of Miss T's conferences and mentioned that she was looking for people to join her media team. And, you know, my mom knowing me, I was all about the media. She thought it was a great opportunity for me to check out, so I had sent my information to them, and I had gotten contact with them, and ever since then, it's been just kind of uphill from there. Mentally, when I found Studio T, it was in a place of wanting more. I was really unsatisfied with where I was, and I wanted to do more with myself. I figured that if I just applied myself a little bit more into the things that I was doing, I could be more successful. I wasn't really happy with where I was. My job was very monotonous, it was boring, and it was slowing me down. I felt like every day was just a, you know, make it to the next day, make it to the next day type of thing, and there was just no joy in anything. When I found Studio T, it was just a breath of fresh air. I felt like I was doing something that had some type of importance to it, and it honestly revived me into feeling like a normal human being. Just the whole experience overall was something that I needed at the time, because if I was to stay in the same spot I was, I mean, yes, Studio T most likely would help me if I stayed here, but like the overall putting me out of the situation I was and just, you know, I guess putting me in a better place mentally and then bringing me back was just kind of like what I needed. Studio T is definitely one of those places that if you ever feel like do anything in life where you can't be better than where you are, you're just in a rough spot and you don't feel like you can reach past that, Studio T will definitely help you realize that you're more than whatever your situation is. You know, I'm a strong human being. I've gone through a lot and I've lived past all those things and I've gotten better and better. Studio T helped me realize that the situations I am doesn't define me as a person. And I have always triumphed over all of these situations and problems. So I'm here today, I'm alive, and I am doing way better than I was before. I grew up wanting to be an engineer. My dad, he was my everything. I was very inspired by him and just everything that he did. I thought he was the coolest person on this planet. As I was growing up, I did everything engineering. I was always playing with building blocks and Legos and things of that nature, building little model cars and airplanes and stuff like that. Because I would say pretty gifted at just engineering in general. I was very crafty. And I wanted to be like my dad. As I grew up, my dad, he was in the Navy, and so was my mom. They both met in the Navy, and after some time, he went and joined the Air Force. Because of that, like it fueled my I guess passion to want to fly, and I wanted to do exactly what he did. Fast forward into like high school, I did all engineering courses and classes and stuff like that. But at the same time though, my teachers told me that I needed to do more artistic classes. So another thing that I was really interested in at the time was just movies. My mom was a huge movie, and so was my dad, movie goers. They like every week we were going to see a movie. We would always go to Hollywood Video, which is not a thing anymore, and Blockbuster, which is also not a thing anymore. And we would always rent a movie every Friday. We'd get food together. We would watch some movies. Those were one of my favorite things that we did as a family. In high school, I was just like, you know what? I really like movies, so let me learn how to just, be behind the camera, in front of it and stuff like that.
I'm Perris James, and we're here with your first In the News report this year.
So took a lot of courses on how to build up a camera, how to shoot it, and like making videos and whatnot. And I was like, this is really cool. I liked it a lot. Like I didn't really understand how much I liked it at the time, but I really enjoyed it. And we were making skits, and I remember in high school, I went to Casumas Oaks. out in Elk Grove. And my teacher had us watch The Sixth Sense for the first time. And I watched it all the way through and I was like, oh, that was a good movie. We watched it multiple times to the point to where I know the movie back and forward. But the point of watching it was that he was showing us how to analyze films. And it's because of that day, I can never watch a film normally and not try to break it down to its ever-living little pieces. I found my love for filmmaking and just videography and photography.
You know, growing up is like waking up to a new chapter in your everyday life.
When I was in 8th grade, we found out that my dad had cancer. He had lung cancer. They didn't really know how bad it was. He had to go through, chemotherapy and stuff like that. And at first he beat it. He had stopped smoking, which for him was like the biggest thing ever because he was a smoker for forever. And and then come 2017, October 3rd, my dad had passed away. I took his death, I took his death very seriously in the fact that I wanted to make sure that he didn't die in vain. I was very determined to go to school and get a degree in engineering and succeed and pull my family out of the rut that we were in, the financial deficit that we were in. I wanted to save my family and bring us all together and all this stuff. The day after he passed, I didn't cry. I didn't feel sad. I was determined to just succeed. Here comes senior year, doing more engineering, determined, and I applied for a bunch of colleges. All of the colleges I applied for got denied. I was so heartbroken. I just kept applying to places, trying to just make it in somewhere until finally I got accepted into San Francisco State. After graduation, I go to San Francisco State. I go to orientation. I'm getting excited. I'm signing up for all my classes and stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh man, this is gonna be hard. If you go with your parents, they talk about all the money stuff and stuff like that. Because I live in Elk Grove, so I couldn't just drive there every day. I didn't even have a car yet. So I would have to stay at the dorms. And, my mom was trying to figure out the financials and stuff like that. And I remember at the end of orientation day, I'm pumped, I'm excited. She tells me, she sits me down and she says, she knows how much it meant to me. Son, I can't afford to take you to the school. And after hearing that news, man, God, it's just like a part of my life was ripped away from me. And I literally couldn't do anything about it. Or at least it felt like my whole purpose was just taken away from me. And I was stuck. I was lost. I didn't know what to do. I felt like that was probably the darkest part of my life because I felt like a failure. The one thing that I was supposed to do was just go to college, get a degree, and succeed, and I couldn't do that. I'm a religious person, and I remember God had put in my heart to ask myself, was engineering really the thing that I wanted to do? Was I going in the right direction? And at the time, I was telling myself, yeah, why would I not want to do that? I've been wanting to do this my entire life. This is what I had a passion for. Yeah, that was my everything. I wanted to be like my dad. When I was finally honest with myself, I asked myself, what do I actually want to do? Where do I go? Until I realized, well, I really did like doing the movie thing. I really enjoyed doing that. So why don't I try that out? And I wanted to be an actor. So I went to CRC and I did stagecraft. I did a lot of their film stuff and took an acting class too, a couple of them. And I loved every second of it. I've never felt more alive doing the stuff that I was doing at CRC. It was from that point forward, my passion changed from engineering to filmmaking. My dream, I want to be able to kind of open up the film space. I feel like the film space is really kind of closed off. You have to know people to know them, to know a person, to really get into like the film, like true filmmaking. I want people to look at me and see that, their dreams are possible and they can do whatever that they want. Me telling my story is not for me to have anybody like feel sad for me or pity me. I told that story on purpose because who knows what my life would have been like had I have gone fully into engineering. Yeah, I probably would have been rich. Yeah, I probably would have had nice things, but would I have been fully satisfied with where I was going? Don't know. I want my life to kind of set a standard for people to understand that you should be chasing the things that you want in life and not let them fall because of what people tell you. There's tons of people in my life that tell me that, oh, you're not going to succeed. You're not going to win. You're not going to get to where you're going to make it, because what my dreams are very it seems out of reach. They're where the stars are, But you know what they say is they reach for the stars.
Hello, Mr. Perris.
Hey, Auntie.
How's it going?
I met Miss T for the first time. My first time meeting her was very interesting because she's such amazing woman to be in presence of. She's very particular and specific on the words that she says and the things that she does. And it's automatically noticeable when you meet her. I remember she told me that she was very impressed with what I had to say, but in truth, I wasn't all talking to her, which most people are for the first time. Over the course of the year that I've been working here, she's taught me a lot of things. She's taught me basically everything I know entrepreneurial-wise. Without her teachings, I wouldn't be able to have my own business as a photographer, videographer, or filmmaker. I really think that there's a key aspect that I really like about CDOT, and it's the community that we have with each other. We really are like a big family, even to a fault, because we come brothers and sisters and we nag and annoy each other. But that's like the fun part about the whole thing. I love everybody that works here, even just on a personal level. Like, I want to see everybody succeed. They're all my brothers, they're all my sisters. The legacy that I want to leave behind is that I want to have people see the life that I lived and know that literally all odds, against all the disappointments and against all the negativity that one person can have and face in their life, there is something still worth fighting for and pushing for. I want people to understand that when life gets really hard, and I mean really hard to where you feel like you just have nothing left, there is always something that you have left. And there is always something to keep pushing for and fighting for.